Hold on, stop. Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill. You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.
What is going on? And welcome to Take on the World with
Johnny
and Mike D. And we're back again. We're kind of getting regular here. Got
Ooh, my back just popped like 100 times.
post up every 2 weeks now, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I'm not sure what our gig is.
What's that?
I'm not sure what our gig is right
Yeah.
now.
Right now, I'm going too close. We got some shorts going up.
Sorry, I have a tendency to lean away from the mic.
I keep yelling at him for leaning away from the mic.
It
going
was
like
bad.
this, and he talks like this. And when I'm editing, I'm like, motherfucker.
It was a video. It was like you could not hear me. I like leaned away, and
I try to fix it, but he's unfixable. He really is.
I sure am.
Anyway, we're here. And I just want to express to all of our tens and tens of fans out there how disappointed I am in Johnny.
Don't even bring it up. You know what?
I'm just so disappointed in him. I almost cried when I found out this information.
And sadly, I don't think you're correctamundo on you. Like, you've heard of this. You just don't know it.
So, if you've listened to any of our back shows, you know that both Johnny and I are World War II buffs in a way. Johnny maybe a little bit more than me.
Yeah, maybe 10 years ago, I think my mind is starting to wane.
I've always been a huge Vietnam War buff. That's the area I grew up in, the end of the Vietnam era. And I've always been kind of a war buff. I love war movies. I love war documentaries. I'll watch The Pacific in color. I'll watch
I think at one point, didn't I had like a whole
I have them. I still have them.
box set of like 3 or 4 ones. They were so cheap at the time. Like you get them for like $10.
They're up behind my TV.
Yeah, at Ollie's.
Yeah.
That's where I got a lot, and their books.
And they're good.
Great, they are.
They're freaking awesome. And I every once in a while I'll pull them out and watch them. However,
and then you watch them and it makes you feel like a less of a man. Like,
oh yeah, like these 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old kids just doing amazing things just for patriotism and selfless acts. And I did join the military, but I didn't do anything like these guys did for their country. So kudos to them.
I tried. You guys want to hear the story?
It's a story there? Anyway, so John, when we discussed what topic we're going to do, and this week we discussed it a little late.
Being yesterday,
yeah.
last night.
I do have another topic on tap, but I want to look at it a little bit more because it's also World War II. But I said to John, what do you want to do? And what do you have in mind? Because I usually go to him for the topics. I do some research. I lay out 45 pages of information. We usually use 10 pages. And then John says, why'd you put all that information down? For no reason. We didn't go through it all. Because I like having it. I don't know. I like research and stuff. So,
well, you're a reader, and you like, I mean, people might not know this, but anything like political, a lot of like information that I don't research and I would never know. And so I always come to you for facts if I need them for certain things. And you haven't disappointed yet.
So he said, let's do the Battle of Leyte Gulf. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like,
well, I thought we
should both be, pretty. We don't really need to do much research on it because we both should know this like pretty good. Like this is a huge battle in World War II. And he goes, I don't know much about it. I'm like, get at it.
Yeah, I
He
thought
goes,
you were fucking with me. Well, actually, I thought you had never heard of it because I thought it was like not that famous of a. It was just kind of forgotten about.
dude, I was in the Navy. This is one of the most famous
Yeah.
naval battles
You're
in World War
like,
II.
I think what a lot of these bigger companies focus on is like the Battle of Midway
Yeah.
because that was like, I guess they did mention that in there, like Battle of Midway. I can't even pronounce the name. I'm retard. The Leyte.
Leyte Gulf.
Uh,
It might be pronounced different than that, but I've heard it Leyte.
okay. Well,
Maybe it's a lady. Maybe it's a lady golf.
the lady golf. Oh, the lady boy golf.
Well, that is the Philippines.
Everyone gets a clap.
And then he's like, really, I've never heard of it. I'm like, hold it.
Yeah, I think you thought I was fucking around.
I thought he was messing with me, and I'm like,
I'm not.
get out of here. Like, I don't believe you at all. And he's like, no, I really, I never heard of it. How have you never heard of the Battle of Leyte? And he's like,
Either that or I just don't remember it at all.
I think as we go through some of this, you may remember it.
I'm hoping I will because, dude, when I was in like my early 20s to like when the History Channel played nothing but like World War II black and white documentaries, I would just sit there like on my time off and I would watch everything they had.
Two of General MacArthur's most famous quotes are from this battle, or connected to this battle, I should say.
Yeah.
So, of course, I want to give the backstory of the Leyte Gulf and why it was so important during World War II. So I went back to 1898, considering it was 52 years later, or 50.
I'm hoping
57 years later that the war came up.
Not okay. I wanted to mention to you something. I won't say it now, but I'll tell you later.
Go ahead.
The first submarine ever made. Super interesting, and they have an exact replica of it, like somewhere in some museum, like a full functioning.
The Civil War.
Yeah,
It's
like a one man thing with like foot pedals, a ballast, and they had like the glow in the dark like thing on the needle, so you could tell what if you're underwater. But it was crazy. Like you go in there in pitch black,
and they would tie a bomb to a pole,
or they would screw a hole into the bottom of the ship, and that's what attached to the bomb, and they would just like drift off, and like this floating bomb would be sitting there. So you got to time it right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and hopefully you don't blow yourself up in the.
Oh, because later on they would put a pole on the front of it, and they'd put the bomb on the end of the pole, and they'd run it into the ship and hope you didn't die when you hit the ship.
Oh yeah, this was So I was going to say probably could be a whole. I mean, we could probably make a whole thing out of it, leading up to like the newest technology that we can find. I'm sure.
Well, that's a nice topic for the future.
But I just thought, like, holy shit, that poor bastard in that little whiskey barrel.
Yeah.
Like, I hope everything goes all right.
We duct taped 3 whiskey barrels together.
Yeah.
And put a little hole in the top.
What's duct tape? Don't worry about it. Get some glue from the back end of a duck's ass, and just get it and make a difference.
Go ahead, Jebediah, get there. So in 1898, the U.S. acquisition of the Philippines. Spain ceded the Philippines to the United States after the Spanish-American War. The island became an American colony and served as a strategic outpost in the Pacific, and it linked the United States to Asia. So that was the importance. It was linking United States to all of Asia. So in 1934, it was the Tidings-McDuffie Act. Congress passed the act to make Philippines a Commonwealth of the United States. It created a 10-year transition period leading towards full independence. And some dude, Manuel Quezon.
The hell was that?
Probably my phone vibrating. He became the first president of the Philippines in 1935. Yeah, it was my phone. Put it over there.
It sounded like some kind of like echolocation under the sea.
Yeah.
Like these souls come and get you.
So the pre-World War strategic appointments, Leyte Gulf, located on the eastern side of the Philippines, provided direct access to the Pacific Ocean. It was critical to maritime crosses linking Asia to Japan.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Its proximity to Luzon made it a key gateway for control over the Philippines. So if you didn't have the Leyte Gulf, you couldn't control the Philippines. So both the Japanese and Allies, wanted this area.
Sure.
Like it was very, very, very important.
It would probably be like the key to like holding the Gulf of Mexico or America, whatever the fuck it's called.
So supply lanes, shipping lanes, controlling oil,
everything
going in and out of that area. Nothing moved unless you had access to this area. So that's why it was so important. So that brings us to the outbreak of World War II. December 7th, of course, everybody knows what happened December 7th, 1941, right?
A day which will live in infamy.
The Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. But on December 8th, there was coordinated attacks on other areas in the Pacific, including attacks on the Philippines to control those Southern Asian shipping lanes.
Southern Asian.
So when I did the research, I wanted to know exactly what the air operations, ground operations. So I asked AI, can you tell me what the air operations and ground operations and naval operations were for the original 1941 attack on the Philippines? And it gave me this information. Air raids destroyed most of the U.S. Far East Air Force at Clark Field near Manila. Aircraft from Formosa, modern Taiwan, crippled U.S. air capability within hours. Japan quickly gained air superiority over the archipelago. Japanese naval and ground operations went from December 1941 to April 1942. Landings began on northern Luzon. December 22nd, major landings in
Hold on for this commercial break.
Lingying Gulf and Lemon Bay. Lemon Bay?
Lemon
Bay. It's a lemon.
Lingayen.
Japanese 14th Army, General Masaharu Homach.
Is he Jewish?
Yeah, he's Jewish. He's Jewish Japanese. He led the invasion with naval support. U.S. and Philippine forces under General Douglas MacArthur withdrew to Bataan to consolidate defense. January 7th, 1942, Manila fell to Japanese forces. February to April, the siege of Bataan lasted 40 days before U.S. and Filipino troops surrendered in April 1942. After the surrender, it led to the Bataan Death March, this is why I can't believe you don't know this.
I know about this, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
But
everybody knows this.
Right, but this was the Battle of Leyte was a direct retaliation for this. So the Bataan Death March were 75,000 prisoners, Filipino civilians, military, and U.S. military, were forced to march under brutal conditions, resulting in thousands of deaths. 1942 to 1944, the Japanese occupation, guerrilla resistance continued across the island. Delays in Japanese conquest slowed its wider operations in South Asia. General MacArthur was evacuated to Australia, but famously vowed, "I shall return.
I'll be back."
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I'll be back. And
I shall return.
One day there'll be an actor who sounds like me. So I don't want to jump too far ahead here because, oh yeah. So October 20th, 1944, the Allies, there was Allied landings on Leyte. U.S. forces began returning to liberate the Philippines. The landings were part of MacArthur's strategy to cut off Japan from their resources because this area was so important to getting resources back and forth to the Pacific Theater.
I remember watching a video of basically it was like the Battle of the Philippines. And I believe that's where they have, maybe I'm jumping ahead here,
No, I think you're jumping behind.
that one Japanese soldier who didn't realize the war ended.
Oh, yeah.
And
he was up in the mountains. Yeah.
He was there for like 30 years after the war, like with his rifle and like still like, I'm like, dude, the war, and he didn't believe him.
They had to talk him down. Like the Japanese government had to send a representative there to go and have a proclamation from the premier or president, whatever it was in modern day of Japan, to tell him the war is over. We surrendered.
Yeah.
And he didn't believe that Japan would ever surrender. So everybody who went to tell him, hey, Japan surrendered, the war's over. He's like, no, I don't believe you. I don't know why he sounded German.
Nine.
So they finally got him to come down, and he was actually hailed as a hero.
By a little crazy hero?
Yes, by Japan.
Oh, okay, little buddy, it's all right.
For standing his post for so many years, for being so loyal to the Japan. But I guess he had to be re-educated because...
Like, what the hell were you eating for the last 30 years?
He lived off the land.
I get that. I was trying to make it...
I know. Maybe he's eating his own poo-poo.
He's like...
Let me tell you what I was eating.
So I believe that gentleman was in the Philippines.
I'm almost positive here. Or one of the little islands around there.
Yeah. So what I didn't know, this was like 20 years ago. I didn't know in my youth of watching World War II videos and just, not really being just a like weekend armchair sleuth. And that I was like, holy shit. I'm like, I didn't know like we were that involved in the Philippines, which makes sense because Filipinos fucking love Americans. At least I did hear that was slightly changing because they were kind of like, hey, you guys are fucking up our shit now. We want you out of our country. But I think the majority of Filipinos really have a good relationship with American because of what we did in World War II.
Well, when we were in Saipan, the dude that we were talking to was Filipino. And he said, I love you guys.
Yeah.
Like Americans, I love Americans.
Yeah.
But so in that October 20th, 1944, when they made that landing, upon the landing, MacArthur proclaimed his second most favorite.
I have a red splotch on my penis.
No,
wait.
He said, people of the Philippines, I have returned. Close. You were close. You were very, very close.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me look through my book again.
So the Battle of Leyte Gulf itself, it remains... That's what I can't understand how you've never heard of this. It remains the largest naval battle in history. In history, dude.
Never heard of her.
200,000 naval personnel were involved in this battle.
That's like 3 ships.
But now.
I'm kidding.
The U.S. forces were led by Admiral Halsey and Admiral Thomas Kincaid.
How many fleets are there in the U.S. Navy?
I can't tell you. It's a secret.
It's a secret?
Yes. This was the 3rd Fleet and the 7th Fleet. So Halsey, this is important. Halsey had the 3rd Fleet. Kincaid had the 7th Fleet. Okay. Now there is a great documentary on this that explains exactly what happened with the fleet deployment here, because there was mistakes made. And some of them,
happy little mistakes.
well, they were unhappy but fortuitous.
Sure.
So the Japanese launched Operation Shugo, splitting its navy into three main forces to attack the land. The North Force, and that was Admiral Ozawa, and it was a decoy carrier fleet to lure Halsey north, which eventually worked. There was a Central Force, Vice Admiral Takeo Kurita.
Sound like a cholo.
Uh,
Corita. Corona.
Battleships, including the Yamato, attempted to break through.
Hold on. That's what confused me. In that thing when I first saw, before I sent you this, he kept saying, he was saying Yamato weird, Yamato. And I was like, hold on. That was their main, the Yamamoto. And I was like getting confused. It wasn't. They're not the same. Yamato and Yamamoto. And I believe both were battleships. Don't quote me on that, but that's what my brain remembered.
So he was attempting to break through the San Bernardo Strait. And then there's a Southern Force, which was Admiral
Soji Nihimuru
and
Kiyohide Shima.
They were supposed to advance through the Sagario Strait south of Pincer. For southern Pincer?
The Sarajevo Strait for a southern pincer move.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Like a crab. They're just going to pinch at you like a crab.
So
and they give you crabs.
October 24th, 1944, there was the Battle of the Sibian Sea. Sibian?
I don't know.
U.S. aircraft carrier. U.S. carrier aircraft attacked Kurita's Central Force. The battleship Yamato was damaged, and Mushi.
Oh, that's how you pronounce it. Yamato.
Yamato.
Yeah,
Yamato.
Yamato. It was so weird. I'm like, why is he saying it like that? Why is there a pause in Yamato?
And
Musashi?
Is that it? Musashi was sank. The Battle of...
I just had a Musashi roll the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did it sink on you?
It sunk to the center of my stomach.
Usually things that are Japanese sink. The Battle of... What did we say that was? Surrego?
Yeah.
Strait. U.S. forces under Kincaid executed a crossing the T ambush. 2 Japanese battleships and several destroyers were sunk. So now they're losing battleships, man. Like, no significant U.S. losses were reported.
Goddamn right. Our boys were getting it in.
And this was important because these were U.S. battleships that were at Pearl Harbor and survived the attack.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they were out there getting their revenge. These guys were fighting as hard as they could to just whack these Japanese who had sneak attacked them. October 25th, 1944, Battle of Samar. Kurita's Central Force engaged a smaller U.S. escort group under Rear Admiral Clifton Sparge. Despite overwhelming odds, U.S. ships, notably the destroyer Johnson and Huell, charged against Japanese battleships. Their defense caused Japanese confusion and led to Kurita's retreat. This desperate fight became one of the most historic actions in U.S. naval history. So these, what were the 2 ships?
I
These
just
two
don't think
destroyers
they
just
talk about it that much.
no. This is like I'm in the Navy, so like I was in the Navy, so this was talked about. These two destroyers just charged these battleships like they were nuts.
Yeah,
The battleships are looking at them like,
that's what the guy said. Yeah,
what the fuck are they doing? Like they have no chance against us.
it portrayed two sailors like they were like painting the side of the ship as they're currently charging into battle. I leaned again.
You did.
It's not going to be on there, is it?
Yeah, it's gonna be on there.
It's just going to be like,
I could hear it on here.
okay, all right. I think this thing needs to be longer.
What it is you start talking to me and you lean back to talk to me.
Yeah.
You got to talk to the people. Talk to the people, man.
Talk to the people.
The people want to hear you.
The people is what matters. The beautiful people. Yeah. So
The only thing I could do is drill a hole here and move yours
don't
forward.
drill a hole. Don't do that. It portrayed two sailors like on a plank with two ropes going over. They're repainting the side of the ship, doing like maintenance work, and they're like charging into battle. And like, fuck yeah. The one dude even said that as the ship was going down, as they're getting guys out, like one of the guys who loads the shells into the breach, he was like blown in fucking half, and he was still on his trying to ram the door shut to shoot the last shell, but he's all fucking dead. And even when the thing sank, he goes the barrels are all off to the starboard side because they were actively firing as it was sinking. I was like, oh, that just fucking gives me chills. That's so fucking cool.
So the Japanese felt that because these two destroyers were charging them, there was something else going on, that something else bigger was happening. And they said, fuck it, we're out of here.
Mm.
They felt like they were being drawn into a trap, or there's some kind of trap coming. So they were like, there's no way it's just these two destroyers. There's something else going on. They're trying to lead us in or drive us into something or lead us into something.
Yeah. So they just happened upon them, and then we're like, I mean, you gotta remember too, like they didn't have systems like we have nowadays.
No, nothing was.
It was really like if you didn't have air superiority, you couldn't see them and locate them. If it was cloudy, I guess, whatever. And then you're just, it literally is the game Battleship. Like you launch over, you hit something, maybe you see some smoke. I don't know. I'm marginalizing it, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. So this is the October 25th, 26th, 1944 battle off Cape Engao.
And yeah,
Admiral Halsey's Third Fleet attacked the Japanese Northern Force. Okay, there's more to this, and I'm pretty sure I have it below. 4 Japanese carriers were sunk in exchange, minimal U.S. losses. Halsey's decision to move north, left of San Bernardo Strait, unguarded.
San Bernardino.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Bernardino. What the fuck is that? California?
No, we're in the South Pacific, bro.
So at least, I guess because the Philippines, Spanish.
Yeah.
Rule. Okay.
Nearly endangered landings. Like he made a huge mistake when he did this. There was miscommunication between the 3rd and 7th Fleet, and it's right here. Miscommunication between the 3rd and 7th
Well,
Fleet.
Mikey, jump ahead.
Worsened by restricted contact imposed by MacArthur. MacArthur said, I want radio silence. I don't want you guys, unless you absolutely have to, no transmissions between ships. Everything has to be signaled. Well, the 3rd and 7th Fleet were so far apart, there was no way to signal between them. And Halsey made this decision, okay, we're going to move north. We're going to go to San Bernardino Strait,
California.
But when he did that, he left his destroyers, his escort ships. And because he did that, it almost screwed up the entire ground landings when they were going ashore. So, but because he did it, he did sink 4 Japanese carriers. So it's one of those things. Well, okay, you screwed up. It kind of worked out for you, but you almost screwed everything up by doing it, and it was all because of miscommunication. And well, you weren't allowed to talk to each other anyway. Like there were some mistakes done here, both sides. So this battle is also where the first Japanese kamikaze suicide missions to target ships, first organized ones. So at this point, they just said, okay, we're running out of pilots. We're just going to put these junior guys in, and all I want you to do is fly that plane into that ship.
Yeah.
And this is where the organized Japanese kamikaze started.
That's some devotion right there.
Well, it signaled Japan's desperation.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Sure.
And like they knew they were losing. They knew. I think this is the point where Japan said, we can't beat the U.S. Navy. They bounced back much faster than we thought they would. We're fucked.
Yeah. There was also another incident. I'm going to butcher this, but it was almost the same as this sea battle compared to like they went into the air and they were looking for Japanese, but they were like way off. And then something happened and it was just by chance. Like they ran into a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And they fucking slaughtered them.
Yeah.
And then like half of them, like, I don't think they had enough gas to come back, but like they already like shot. Was that I don't think that was the Marianas turkey shoot, was it?
I think that's part of the Battle of Midway.
I should have really brushed up on my skills.
You should have. Yeah, you should have.
But this is so exciting, man. I love it. This shit is like fucking so awesome. Like that. It's like almost unbelievable.
So now we've been simply talking about the Japanese and the U.S. forces. There were other Allied forces involved in the naval battle here. So I don't want to diminish their role, but I'm particularly talking about the U.S. forces because the Allied forces were led like 100% by the U.S. forces. They were all under Halsey. They were all under MacArthur. They were all under.
Now that you say that, I don't.
You still don't. None of this rings a bell.
No. But now that you say that, I want to bring up another point. It was that I don't remember. Maybe I'm just so Americanized or used to watching whatever I watch that were there other allies involved in this battle?
Yeah, there was. I think there was Australian,
and they don't get their cut.
They're not getting a notoriety that the U.S.
Well,
gets.
I know them fucking Australian boys are crazy.
Yes, they are. And like, they don't have a huge navy, but their navy, their navy ships, they're like some of the strongest fighters out there. So, like, I don't want to take away from what they contributed.
Yeah. I'm just dumb and illiterate. Like I just thought that.
Let me do a quick search here.
We were just the only ones there. Obviously, we all know there's allies in this war.
What?
But
other?
Yeah, it's never really on any documentary that I watched. I'm sure if I read more, it'll be a little better because whenever you read stuff, it's a little more in depth.
Okay. There was British and Australian warships. So the Royal Australian Navy had played an active combat and support role. 11 Australian ships participated.
In this particular battle.
Yes. I asked Perplexity what other Allied naval forces were involved in the Battle of Leyte.
How long was this battle?
Well, let's see. So
I'm thinking it couldn't have been
October. Nope.
So right about
October 20th through October 25th, 26th.
So like a week-long battle? Holy shit.
But it was a week-long battle over a large, like,
Right, but you're still tit for tat. Like
It's
but
that
still,
think of like the Gulf of Mexico
how many
or the
ships were
Gulf of
blown up?
America, whatever it's called anymore.
Yeah.
It looks small on a map. It's not small.
It's not small by any means.
So you're talking, and the battle or Leyte Gulf might even be bigger than that. I don't know. I've never seen them side by side on a map, so it's a large area.
I think that they're very comparable, and like with the small islands. Although our Gulf has the small, I don't even know if like Puerto Rico, Cuba, Jamaica is that considered part of our Gulf? Like they're small islands,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
but they're kind of outside of the Gulf, as opposed to
Well,
this Gulf.
I think some of these areas were outside of the Gulf too. They just called it the Battle of Leyte Gulf because the whole area compromised that needed zone to get goods in and out of there. So
yeah,
it was Royal Australian Navy had combat and support roles. HMAS Australia was notably hit by one of the first kamikaze attacks during the battle.
no shit.
The UK Royal Navy, although the British Pacific Fleet was not yet developed to full strength, one British warship was attached to the Allied task force under the 7th Fleet for operations of supporting Leyte landings. Royal Canadian Navy did not deploy major combat units, but contributed indirectly through escort duties, shared Pacific operations infrastructure later in the campaign.
Okay.
In total, the Allied Armada of Leyte consisted of over 700 ships. So the outcome of the Battle of Leyte Gulf, it was obviously a decisive victory for the United States.
The Allies.
Yes, for the Allies. Destroyed Japan's remaining major naval strength. Their navy was decimated after this.
Yeah.
The only thing they really had going for them after this was their submarine fleet, and their subs were just
Not up to date.
They were deadly by the way they operated, but that was their submariners working above their level. Really, it wasn't due to the equipment; it was due to the skill of their submariners.
So they had, I remember, oh God, they were saying that the issue with Japanese versus American submariners, airmen, was that the Americans would have an ace and they can pull him for training purposes, and the Japanese, they really couldn't.
Oh, they were running out.
So they would take their best guys, like you got to keep fighting. So they would lose their best guys and have basically nobody to train the new guys.
Right.
So yeah, it's exactly what you're talking about.
Well, we both listen to Fat Electrician, and you listen to any of the stories that he does. Anytime someone has a lot of success on a battlefield, they pull them and send them to train other people.
Yeah.
And they're never satisfied because they're warriors.
Right.
They're people they're people who belong in battle.
Yeah. John Bastogne, they pulled him. And,
yep. See, I thought Bastogne was involved in the landings at Leyte. And I tried to get information on that, and I couldn't find it.
He might have been. I know he was.
It might have been someplace else. He came to the Pacific Theater.
Pacific Theater. He invented the Bastogne bail.
Yep.
So you can hold that machine gun without burning your hands.
Yep.
He did burn his hands in the beginning.
That's why he came up with the bail.
Then they pulled him to do like war bonds, and in the show
after he got his CMA, when he got his Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
And then he went on the war bond tour, and then he went training people.
Yeah, training.
And he said, "Look, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Send me back to war."
Yeah. And then he was ultimately killed.
And then after he was killed, they stopped sending CMA winners back to the theater, where it was harder to send them back because they're too valuable to the war bond effort.
Yep.
Which I know is important. You have to pay for the war, but
when you got a guy who, and I feel that's probably like a very common trait between warriors, It's like, I just want to fight, man. I don't want to do this political bullshit.
It's almost like, don't give me the fucking medal.
Yeah. I feel like, I swear to God, the thing, like 98% of those guys who get that medal are like, I don't deserve this. I didn't want a medal. I don't want this medal. You know, I'm not the real hero. It's the guys who.
No, actually, his latest video, did you watch it?
No.
It,
Well, maybe. I don't know.
it was on a lesser known guy. And when they went to give him his medal, he goes, I don't want it. Like, I don't want the notoriety. I don't want the attention.
Yeah.
I just want to go out and do what I do. But anyway, that's the sidetrack. So we're talking about the outcome of the Leyte Gulf battle. It severed Japanese supply routes, which is what they wanted to do. Like, that was the objective here. Plus, it gives them a jump off point closer to Japan, which is what the Battle of Saipan and Tinian were. Enabled the continued Allied advance to the Philippines, which gets them closer to Japan. Highlighted controversial command choices by Halsey and the valor of U.S. escort carriers at Samar. Don't know what that means. But it marked the irreversible decline of the Japanese naval capabilities. They never recovered from this battle, ever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of coral reefs with Japanese names on them in the battle in Leyte Gulf. Let's see. 1945 continued liberation of the Philippines. January 9th, 1945, Allied troops landed on Luzon. I tried to do this on a timeline scale here. February to March 1945, Battle of Manila restored the capital and to Allied control. Japanese forces retreated into the mountains until their surrender of August 1945.
And from what I understand, the Japanese and during that time had a very brutal history, and I don't think they were very friendly to the Filipino people.
Well, I'm going to just foreshadow the next episode we want to do. It's going to talk about how the Japanese treated their prisoners of war.
Yeah.
And how some of it's not spoken of as much as some of the atrocities the Germans did. There were some just as bad and horrific atrocities done by the Japanese.
If not worse.
And that'll be coming out. I'm pretty sure that'll be the next episode after this one.
It's like
so. Make sure you tune into that because I actually, when I was researching it, I took a break from the research because it was because there was pictures on, and I will not post pictures.
It's like
it's horrific.
Horrific. It's like it digs on you. Like,
yeah,
just nags at you. Like,
even after everything we've seen in our careers, it just you can only take so much.
Yeah.
So, July 4th, 1946, Philippine independence. The Treaty of Manila formally ended American sovereignty. The Republic of the Philippines officially recognized under President Manuel Rojas. President Harry S. Truman issued Proclamation 2695 granting independence. The date aligned with the U.S. Independence Day to symbolize friendship and partnership. The president of the Philippines,
Diosdado Macapelaga.
Yeah.
Macarena. Macapagal.
Mac and cheese. Moved to the official Philippines Independence Day to June 12th. Because commemorating Amelino
Aguinaldo's
1898 declaration against Spain. Okay, that makes sense. I get that. They should have their own day. Okay. And then I searched for strange and odd occurrences. The Japanese attack on the Philippines occurred only hours after the Pearl Harbor attack, but it's largely overshadowed. People don't talk about it. People don't even know about it. The smallest U.S. task group at Samar was Taffy 3.
I love Taffy.
Repelled massive Japanese battleships through smoke screens and surprise counterattacks. I actually watched a movie that dramatized this, where they had this massive Japanese battleship thinking that there was so many more ships than there really were, that they're like, let's get out of here. Kamikaze tactics were used for the first time in this campaign. We already mentioned that. Communications restriction between MacArthur and Halsey commands between the two commands nearly caused disaster. Japanese Admiral Kurida's sudden withdrawal, remains a debated mystery. So that was the two destroyers coming after the battleships.
Mm-hmm.
His withdrawal is debated. Like, why did he do it? I say it's because just so badass.
He knew he's going to get fucked up.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So that's what I have on this.
That's all you have?
Well, I have more detailed stuff written, but I bullet pointed all that stuff.
I'm saying.
How many ships? There was I had a thing of how many ships were lost.
I know of at least 2 destroyers, and they're the deepest shipwrecks in that we know of.
But talk about those deep shipwrecks.
Okay. I don't know what they were. Both those destroyers that went after that. I believe they're both those destroyers that went after that. Himayama, Hogi Woki. And they were both sunk. And I think they're like at 25,000 and 28,000 feet. You're going to have to look this up. I'm just shooting off the hip here. And, but I do remember the guy saying that it's so clear, or there's so little oxygen down there that it looks like they were just sunk yesterday.
Yeah, that's they also say, this is also said, so all of the World War II ships that were sunk are protected. But people, they're not scavengers, but salvagers would love to get the steel off them because the steel supposedly is stronger than any steel made now.
Yeah, doesn't it have to do with like the atomic explosions and
Yes.
shit?
Yes, it does.
It's so fucking weird.
So the Japanese losses, 4 aircraft carriers, 3 battleships, the Yamashiro, the Fuso, and the Musashi. 6 heavy cruisers, 4 light cruisers, 11 destroyers, 1 submarine, around 300 to 500 aircraft, and approximately 10,000 to 12,500 personnel killed.
My God.
The Allied navies, primarily the U.S. with support from Australia, lost 1 light aircraft carrier, the USS Princeton, 2 escort carriers, U.S. Gambier Bay and the USS St. Louis, 2 destroyers, the USS Howe and the USS Johnson.
Those are the ones.
Yeah. 1 destroyer escort, USS Samuel B. Roberts, roughly 200 to 300 aircraft, and about 2,800 to 3,000 personnel.
Jesus Christ.
So the Japanese lost 26 to 29 ships, and the United States lost 6 to 7 ships.
They got fucked up.
Yep. You lose that many ships, that's your Navy there, dude.
Yeah, it's like and I don't think they had nearly the technology we had or the manufacturing capabilities that we had. So we could crank fucking ships out way faster than pretty much anybody.
No, because if you at that point, the United States was pretty much heavily industrialized.
Yeah.
But if you went to Japan at that point, there were still people living in hovels and walking with no shoes, and you know what I mean? They were just cutting people with swords and robbing banks with swords instead of guns. And
yeah.
I
mean, you think
look, it's a beautiful country.
Yeah, sure.
And it would be cool to live the way they lived at that point. Now, they did have big cities and you had people living the same way people lived in the United States, but the people in the country were so poor compared to the poor in the United States. The poor in the United States had, I feel, much more than the poor in Japan.
I mean, we had our industrial revolution, before the war, and so you had just facilities cranking out ammo, like shells, planes, like, and when they said that even Germany, for as small of a country as that is, how many men they had, how much equipment they had, and super impressive. They had that Tiger tank that was indestructible. Well, all but indestructible.
Except from the top.
And, it would take at least 5 or 6 Shermans to one Tiger tank. But it didn't matter because we could produce way more Sherman tanks than they could produce. Your guys are dying a lot more. But
I just watched something on how Great Britain produced more planes and armored vehicles than any other country during the war.
Wow. Yeah, and then,
that small little country.
They had the Industrial Revolution, and that's what everybody's doing in them cities.
A country the size of Louisiana.
Yeah. And that's what amazes me because, like, Germany's not that big of a country, and they had, when you look at battles and stuff, they had, like, the Battle of Kursk. It was like 2 million German men, 5 million Russians. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, they had that many fucking people and that many tanks and equipment, it's just really crazy to think about. Super cool.
So we talked about the Battle of Leyte Gulf, which I'm so sad and disappointed that my good friend John here had never heard of. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I did. I just kind of blended in with all the other shit I've seen.
Do we even know each other? That's what I question.
I'm pulling all these plugs here right now.
Okay. So now, since we took that on, you go out and take on the world. Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill. You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.